Daniel Mail, Unit 11741. I want to comment on a frequent criticism that people raise when we've called out certain organizations and people that have misled the public. Some people say it's sinas chinam, or baseless hatred, which led to the destruction of the temple. Others say to stay focused on our holy work. And of course, we are focused on our holy work. But I think it's important to realize that organizations and people that spread misinformation about the soldiers and about their safety should not get a free pass. You can't just say that soldiers have everything they need, don't worry about it, contribute to other causes because the soldiers are all set, when in fact soldiers are getting hurt or dying or feeling unsafe because they don't have proper equipment. Something just doesn't add up. And at the end of the day, if organizations or people don't know about the equipment situation, then don't comment about it. Why do you have to spread misinformation? There has to be some sort of accountability. It can't just be that people say whatever they want, and regardless of whether it's true or not, they get away with it. Especially when you're asking people for money that they've worked hard to earn, and they're contributing, and they want to help those who are truly in need. There has to be some sort of accountability mechanism in which people can't just claim that they are helping with the most critical, urgent equipment and then providing Listerine and flip-flops, or putting money away in escrow instead of helping with critical frontline things. It just doesn't make sense. So there has to be some sort of ability to talk about it in a way that's not seen as simply contributing to baseless hatred. And as I've said before, we owe it to the families of the soldiers that are fighting, and you also owe it to the people who unfortunately fell not when they didn't have the proper equipment, because there's consequences to our actions. And if you don't speak up and you're saying wrong things, there are consequences. So what if a donor gave to an organization under the premise that they're helping with the most important, most urgent needs, and that money has been put away? And we know of stories in which soldiers were killed entering buildings and they didn't have proper equipment to go into that building. So how do you explain that to the families? You could have helped if people had contributed to the right way, and it simply didn't get there. So there has to be room to have the discussion, and I'm not pretending to have all of the answers, but there has to be some way to have that discussion without it being baseless hatred or saying that we all have to be unified. Why do we have to be unified with groups or people that are spreading fake news and false information? It doesn't make any sense. And there has to be some sort of accountability mechanism. There just has to be. You cannot go out and say whatever you want and speak in the name of people and have no accountability. I was with a soldier the other day. A certain organization used their picture and said that equipment that was provided by this organization saved her life and things to that matter. She's never done anything with this organization. So they used her photo, they're promoting it, and they're saying that they were involved in her life-saving the treatment that she received. They weren't. So how is that allowed? And as a Jewish community, as people who care about Israel, what are we doing to make sure that there's honesty and integrity in marketing and in results? Excuse me. There has to be results, and there has to be an honest accounting of what works, what doesn't, and who has actually shown up. And if we don't demand honesty, then there's no way to tell what's actually going on. And there has to be a way in which we can have an open and clear discussion about it. There just has to be. So we can work on it together, but we have to figure out a way to make sure that people are truly getting helped and organizations and individuals are being honest about what's going on.